If you believe that messages arrive at the right time, subscribe to the Messages from the Soul channel and follow along with us. There is a silent weight we carry when we know something needs to change, but we can't take the first step. It's as if we're standing before a half-open door, seeing the light on the other side, but with our feet firmly planted on the ground. It's not laziness. It's not weakness. It's fear, that old, ingrained fear that starting over means losing everything we've built so far. But the truth is different. Starting over isn't about erasing what we've lived through. It's about recognizing that life, by its very nature, is movement. And movement demands detachment. We weren't born to be statues. We were born to stumble, get up, go the wrong way, correct our course, fall again, and still keep going. Being on earth is this, a succession of experiences that invites us, each day, to make new choices. And choosing is starting over, always. Have you ever stopped to think about how many times you've started over without realizing it? How many times have you woken up after a difficult night and decided to try again? How many times have you swallowed your pride, apologized, and reached out? How many times have you looked in the mirror and whispered, "I'm going to make it"? Starting over isn't a grand event. Sometimes, it's just a matter of taking a deep breath and taking a step, just one, and then another. But there are times when starting over demands more. It demands that you look at what is broken and accept it. It won't fix itself. It demands that you recognize that some doors need to be closed so that others can open. And then the fear comes again, because closing a door means giving up something familiar, even if that something is hurting us. Have you ever stayed in a place that wasn't good for you just because it was familiar? Have you ever held on tightly to a relationship that was already over, just to avoid facing the emptiness? Have you ever stayed in a job that drained your soul because the insecurity seemed worse than the unhappiness? I know. We get used to familiar pain. We negotiate with suffering as if it were part of life's package. But it's not. Prolonged suffering is not a virtue. It is not patience. It is not faith. Sometimes it is just fear disguised as loyalty. Fear of disappointing. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of being judged. Fear of starting over and discovering that, in the end, it still wasn't enough. But listen, you don't need to be enough for anyone but yourself. And being enough doesn't mean being perfect. It means being honest. It means looking at your life and asking yourself courageously, does this still make sense? Do I still want to be here? What paralyzes people the most isn't the act of starting over itself. It's the judgment, the fear of what others will say, the fear of disappointing those who believed in you, the fear of seeming weak, inconsistent, lost. But who said you need to be ready to start over? Who said you need to have all the answers before taking the first step? Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is looking at fear and saying, I know you're there, but I'm going anyway. Starting over can mean many things. It can mean ending a relationship that has become a habit. It can mean quitting a job where you're no longer growing. It can mean moving to a new city, cutting toxic ties, going back to school, seeking help, forgiving someone, or forgiving yourself. It can simply mean stopping, pretending that everything is okay when it's not. And no, you're not starting from scratch. You never are. You carry with you every choice you've made, every tear you've wiped away, every time you've fallen and gotten back up. You carry a strength you didn't even know you had. You carry the scars, and they aren't signs of defeat. They are maps. They are proof that you survived. There's a huge difference between giving up and starting over. Giving up is turning your back on yourself. Starting over is turning your back on what no longer serves you. Giving up is denying what you feel. Starting over is honoring what you feel and acting on it. But I'll tell you something, few people have the courage to say, starting over hurts. It hurts because it demands that you face reality. It hurts because you'll have to deal with the loss of what you imagined it would be, of the time that passed, of the people who won't understand. It hurts because you'll need to accept that, yes, you made mistakes. Yes, you took too long. Yes, you could have acted sooner. But so what? Mistakes don't disqualify you. Mistakes teach you, and postponing a fresh start because of the past is postponing life itself. Some people spend years postponing a difficult conversation, years avoiding a decision that, deep down, has already been made, years negotiating with their own conscience, trying to convince themselves that there's still a chance that things will get better, that it's just a phase. And meanwhile, life goes by, energy drains away, hope withers. And then comes that moment. You know which one? That moment when you can't take it anymore, when something inside you breaks. And, paradoxically, that's where courage is born. Because when you reach your limit, when you realize you can't sustain the lie anymore, that's when you finally allow yourself to change. But you don't need to reach your breaking point to start over. You can choose now. You can choose before you break. You can choose because you realized you deserve more. Because you realize that life is too short to be lived halfway. Yes, there will be those who don't understand. There will be those who criticize. There will be those who say you're being selfish, impulsive, immature. But these people don't sleep with your anguish. They don't carry the weight of your choices. They don't wake up in the middle of the night with that tightness in their chest. You wake up, you carry, you feel, so it's up to you to decide. Starting over is an act of faith. Faith in what? Faith that there is something greater than fear. Faith that you are not alone on this journey, even when it seems like you are. Faith that time, that great organizer of life, will put everything in its place. Faith that you are capable of learning, adapting, and being reborn. Because life isn't linear, life is cyclical. It's made of beginnings, ends, and restarts. It's made of planting, harvesting, and land left to rest. It's made of births, deaths, and rebirths. And you, who are reading this now, have already died so many times and been reborn so many others. You were once someone else. You once believed in things you no longer believe in. You once loved someone who is now a stranger. You once dreamed dreams that were abandoned along the way. And that's okay, because each version of you fulfilled its purpose. Each version of you brought you to where you are today and now. Now you are faced with a new choice, to stay or to leave, to persist or to let go, to hold on or to release. Closing a cycle isn't about failing. Closing a cycle is about honoring what was and making room for what can be. It's recognizing that some things have an expiration date hand. There's nothing wrong with that. Some relationships are for a season. Some jobs are for learning. Some beliefs are for a phase. And when the season changes, when the learning is complete, when the phase ends, insisting on it is self-sabotage. You have the right to change your mind. You have the right to change course. You have the right to look back and say, I did what I could with what I knew. Now I know more. And I will act differently. This is not inconsistency. This is growth. Some people are afraid to start over because they think they'll lose their identity. If I leave this job, who am I? If I end this relationship, what will people think of me? If I move to another city, will I adapt? If I leave this religion, will I lose my faith? But the truth is, you are not what you do. You are not where you are. You are not who you are with. You are not what you believe. You are what you choose to be, each day, at every crossroads. And if you choose to remain trapped for fear of losing something external, you are already losing something much greater, yourself. Starting over is, at its core, a reunion. It's coming home. It's rescuing that part of yourself that was forgotten, suffocated, silenced. It's giving voice to what you truly feel, not to what you were taught to feel. It's acting from who you are, not from who they expected you to be. And when you do that, something changes. Not necessarily the circumstances, at least, not immediately, but something inside you changes. You regain your dignity. You regain your strength. You regain hope, not that naive hope that everything will be all right, but that mature hope that whatever happens, you will be whole. So, if you're reading this and feeling like something needs to change, listen, you already know what it is. You already know. Maybe you don't know how, maybe you don't know when, but you know what? Just by knowing this, you've already taken the first step. Now, all we have to do is not go back. If this reflection resonated with you, leave a comment. Your voice matters too. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it. Sometimes, a message can change an entire day. Subscribe to the Messages from the Soul channel and let these reflections accompany you.